In 2018, strange things started happening in an ordinary house in Pittsburgh. Jerome, the head of the family, began noticing unexplainable occurrences at night. The situation became increasingly concerning, eventually prompting him to install a security camera in the attic. However, the recordings only intensified his worries. This story is about the Kennedy family, Jerome and his wife Ashley. Before these events in 2018, their life was completely ordinary and unremarkable. By that time, they were already parents to a 1-year-old little girl and lived in a 2-story house in Pittsburgh. Ashley mainly stayed at home, dedicating all her time to caring for their daughter. Jerome had the advantage of working from home, which allowed him to spend lots of time with his family. Life seemed perfect until their cozy home turned into a source of fear. One night, Jerome woke up to mysterious rustling sounds. At that moment, the whole family, himself, Ashley, and their little daughter, were in one bedroom. Jerome's first thought was that the noise was coming from their child. However, after listening carefully, he determined that the sound was coming from somewhere in the attic. It's worth noting that the attic space in the Kennedy house was rather compact, with a typical triangular roof construction. Due to this awkward layout, the family didn't even use it for storage. At first, Jerome tried not to pay attention to these sounds, but they became more frequent with each subsequent night. The only explanation that came to Jerome's mind was that some small animals, most likely rodents, had made their way into the attic. He bought special pest elimination products, but they didn't make any difference. The mysterious sounds continued to disturb the family at night, and over time, they even got used to it. Jerome had almost accepted the situation until he began noticing other strange things. One night, awakened by the familiar rustling, he noticed a strange flickering coming from the ventilation opening. The protective screen partially obscured it, but even this faint glow really scared him. After removing the screen and examining the attic, he was relieved to find nothing unusual. Now Jerome couldn't just ignore what was happening. Although thoughts about something supernatural began creeping into his mind, he still tried to find a rational explanation for what he saw. If you enjoyed this video, please support my channel by subscribing and hit the bell icon to never miss my next video. He learned that his neighbor, 70-year-old Robert Havrilla, had started renovations in his rather run-down apartment. Jerome decided to share his concerns with Robert. However, the neighbor assured him that he himself didn't hear any suspicious sounds. He suggested that similar noises might be in his own attic too, but due to his deep sleep, he simply didn't notice them. The renovation work also couldn't be the cause since Robert never did any of it during nighttime. In his opinion, the source of the noise could be either rodents or just strong night winds. But even if that was the case, Jerome needed confirmation. He needed proof that everything happening was real and not just his imagination. At this point, Jerome decided to set up a security camera in the attic to figure out the cause of the strange sounds once and for all. After installing the equipment, strangely enough, not a single noise was heard on the first night. Thinking the recording would be empty, he still decided to review the footage. This decision led to a shocking discovery. What he saw on the recording made him freeze with fear. Here's what the camera recorded. The video clearly showed a human figure slowly moving around the attic. The uninvited guest was equipped with a drill and a flashlight. The footage showed this person carefully drilling a hole in the floor, which gave a direct view of the baby's crib. After this, he spent more than an hour just watching the sleeping family before disappearing. After carefully studying the video, Jerome was horrified to recognize his neighbor, Robert Havrilla. The realization that someone was secretly watching his sleeping family gave him mixed feelings of disgust and fear. Even more disturbing was understanding that these creepy visits had been going on for more than 2 months. Without wasting time, Jerome contacted law enforcement. During the investigation, it was discovered that the houses on their street shared walls between apartments. The police found that Robert had skillfully removed the dividing wall between their attics, replacing it with a fake construction. Additionally, during the inspection of the rooms, small holes were found in the walls that Robert had drilled. Jerome realized with horror that he couldn't determine exactly when this surveillance began, though he suspected the neighbors' interest started after their baby arrived in the house. After Robert Havrilla was detained, a trial took place. Despite the defense's attempts to present the incident as an accidental entry under the pretext of checking the shared wall during renovations, the judge delivered a guilty verdict. Havrilla was sentenced to 5 years of probation for unlawful entry. For the Kennedy family, such a light sentence was an additional blow. Their former stalker neighbor returned home that same day. From a formal perspective, nobody was physically harmed in this story, but the question remains about Robert Havrilla's true intentions and potentially more serious consequences if he hadn't been exposed in time. According to property records, the last sale of the house at 524 Taylor Avenue was recorded in 2014. This suggests that the Kennedy family might still be living there, although it's difficult to confirm this information with certainty. It's possible that due to the unfortunate notoriety of this case, finding new buyers for the property became problematic. This story makes you think about how vulnerable our personal space can be. A home is traditionally seen as a sanctuary and a place of absolute safety, but what is it like to realize that in your own dwelling, a stranger might be hiding, secretly watching your every move? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you didn't, feel free to give it a dislike. Make sure to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next video.